YouTube, what's going on? It's Gino Bonino here, and I'm going to, let me fix this. I'm just going to do a video. I've got a lot to cover and not a ton of time, so I'm hoping that my mouth is clear and I can do this all in one take. That would make the world a beautiful place, because I don't have enough time to get done what I need to get done. I am heading out. I'm going on a trip for about 10 or 15 days. I'm heading down to the panhandle of Florida. Part of it is to take my youngest to Disney World. Like, I don't give Marvel and Disney enough of my money. Ay, ay, ay. Anyway, going to give him a bunch more, and since I'm down there, I'm going to run across the state and go over to CGC and drop off some stuff. So I'm going to show you what that is. We're going to go through this process together. In fact, I hope to show you guys the outside and inner workings of the drop-off process, if CGC will let me do that. I don't know how strict they are. We're going to find that out later on. But in the meantime, I will tell you that I'm going to show you what I'm dropping off. And like I said, I'll let you guys in on the whole process. I'll show you the books that I'm going to drop, and also what happens, the grades and all that kind of stuff. We'll see what's going on. In the meantime, got some stuff to talk about. I know I haven't been on for a while, and I do want to cover some stuff. The very first and most important thing I want to talk about is a gentleman who I can only say thank you to. I wish I could do more. I am going to do more. Of course, we're going to trade a few books and all that kind of stuff, but he goes by the name, the handle here on YouTube of Thierry23. He sent me an AOK. Actually, the very first one I've ever gotten. Now, I should take it back. There's a couple people that we've traded books, but we had the strict, or at least we had the understanding that it was kind of a tit-for-tat thing. This was something that Mr. Theory did right out of the goodness of his heart. He sent this without any discussion or whatever. He just, boom, he said, dude, you got something coming in the mail, and sure enough, he was right. So, of course, I do think that part of the community that we're a very giving and understanding and sort of a pay-it-forward kind of community, and for that reason, I'm definitely going to send him some stuff back. You can't keep score. I mean, obviously, what he sent me, I think, is probably much better than what I could ever send him, but nonetheless, I just want to say a big thank you, Theory. Thank you, man, so much, so much. I want to show you guys what he sent. First of all, a lot of this stuff is signed. It's actually very cool books. I do collect. I know a lot of people collect signed books and stuff like that just because they're kind of cool that the creator actually signed them, or had some hands-on. Somebody met them or whatever the case may be. But I do collect these. The first book he sent is called Pummeler. These are Parody Press books. This is actually signed, if you look here, by the creator. His name is Bill Maus, M-A-U-S, just like the comic book with the little mouse on it. And it's obviously a parody of The Punisher. The cover art looks to me like it's Sam Keith. He's got a very distinguished autograph. And anyway, this is just a cool book. I believe these were out of Canada, I want to say. I didn't know about these books. I saw somebody selling them on an auction, and they got on my radar after that, and again, they're just kind of cool. Along those same lines is another one by Parody called Vendum. Same creator, Bill Maus, and if you look, he has signed this one right there, too, in gold ink. The third book that Theory sent is called Yawn, obviously a takeoff and parody of Spawn. Same creator, however, this is by a publishing company called Entity Comics. I don't know if they're related. I don't know if there's any issues where one had to stop and one picked up or whatever the case may be. But anyway, that is Yawn. If you're looking for these, they're kind of hard to find. Once again, they're a small press book out of, I believe, Canada. I'm not sure. If I'm wrong, please correct me down below. He also sent G.I. Joe 256. This is a comic vault exclusive cover. Ouch. This is Captain America number 270. Just a nice older Bronze Age book. I think bronze. Ninjak number 1. Foil-licious some foil goodness. I don't know if you can see. I don't think they called it foil. I think actually Valiant was the first to call this stuff chromium, but you kind of get the picture. It's shiny, bright and shiny, 90s book goodness. I do not own this. I own damn near every Valiant book, but there was a point where the market got very saturated, and that was about when I quit collecting for a spell and don't have that book, so thank you. He also knew I was a fan of Spawn, so he sent me the Spawn Fan Edition books. I did catch that, thank you. I will be signing autographs in back. This is number 1. This is number 2. These are thin comics, but they're fan edition books. I think they were done as thank yous to by McFarlane. And this is issue number 3. Now, my recommendation, if you don't own these books and you're a Spawn fan, go get them, because Spawn is going to, I guarantee you, be harder and harder to find as time goes on. Mark my word. I know I keep preaching to the choir here, but if you don't have those, I would recommend getting them. You can get them fairly cheap now. I know I have another set that I bought not too long ago. There's two covers. There's a variant and an A and a B cover, and I've got both now, so it worked out really good. He also sent me White Widow number 1, the A cover, and if you look, this is signed by James Tyndall, who did art on a few of the pages, and I think he was probably one of the creators as well of this book. So again, these are, I don't know what's going on with White Widow. I know first one kind of hit with a bang. I don't know if they're having trouble with getting second issue published. I know they were a crowdsourced publisher, much like Rags were, and they might be having a hard time with funding or something like that. I don't know exactly what's going on. It'll be interesting to find out. Last but not least, and probably the coolest book that he sent me, I was just absolutely blown away. I did not expect this. Is Spawn number 285, and this is the Virgin variant. I believe this is a exclusive, con exclusive. Looks to me like this one was purchased in Orlando at, let's see here, at MegaCon in Orlando, and probably, I'm guessing, signed there by Francisco Matina. That's his signature right there. There's 666 of these in existence, so it's a very small press book. 666. With this one, there's 665 floating around, and there came with, check it out, a COD from CBCS. It was witnessed, and I could send this in and have it probably slabbed with a yellow label right now, guaranteeing that the signature is authentic and all that. So Thierry, once again, man, thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. I know we've all probably seen him. He hangs around at a lot of the auctions. He supports the community that way. He's a very, he comments often on many of the videos, and I know he's a big Spawn fan. He's a big Deadpool, and I believe Deathstroke, and definitely a Joker fan. So once again, man, thank you so much, Thierry. I'm humbled. You know, sometimes somebody comes along and humbles you in the stuff that they do, and I can't say thank you enough, man. So thank you very much in the bottom of my heart. I truly do mean that. That's nice of you. It's unnecessary. I know a lot of us do this simply because we love comic books. We do it because we want to. We don't do it for people to send us stuff or whatever, but if people do, it's just a nice little perk. It's more getting something and thinking somebody appreciates what you do, more so than the value of it. So none of this stuff is going to be sold. Anything that somebody gives me, obviously that's something that's near and dear to my heart, and I treat it as such. I'm not gonna, get it, oh boy, look, get it slabbed and make $100. No, not gonna do that. That's something that I'm gonna put away. I've got it definitely marked in my on my phone app where I keep my collection under wraps, how I obtained it, and all that kind of stuff, and that it's a keeper. It's not something I'm going to get and sell or do anything like that. Okay, so now let's shift gears for a second. Let me talk about a couple things I picked up today. I picked up, believe it or not, I do not own this issue. I got a pretty good deal on it at my LCS. I was there doing my New Comic Book Day run, and this was there on the wall. I didn't pay a ton of money, but I paid a little bit for it. It's just, again, one of those very cool, iconic covers with Wolverine standing next to Joe Fixit. I just love the cover. Always has been kind of in the back of the mind that if I saw it for a good price, I would buy it. It was a good price, I bought it. Another thing I want to talk about, another book I picked up, and I know people are kind of starting to get a little bit of overkill. My personal opinion, I don't let people say what they want. This series is so well written that I don't care if it goes down to a quarter. I will still buy it. I still love it. It'll be a cherished part of my collection forever. I only have one copy of issue 9. I want to have a couple runs of the book just for a long-term hold. And I only have 9. Seems to be one of those issues that's a little tougher to find than some. Don't know why. Maybe it was smaller print, or maybe it was, again, the cover is so cool with the Absorbing Man on fighting the Hulk and those colors, how they pop. So it might be one that a lot of people are stashing. I was actually looking for that, but they had this one in stock, so I grabbed it. This is issue 9, the B cover. Then another thing I want to talk a little bit about, this is kind of a timely thing. These Blood or Carnage covers that came out today. This is Venom 15, and this is Symbiote Spider-Man number 3. And if you look, there's 2 versions of these. There's a hidden variant, quote-unquote hidden variant, which have Blood or Carnage, I guess is how I'm looking at it, on the title. And don't let somebody tell you these are rare, and don't pay a rare price for them. And here's why I'm saying. I was there when these came into the shop, and the ratio that my shop got was about 50-50, 1 for 1. So if a shop is telling you that they only got 1 and they're going to want to sell it to you for $20, they're full of it. Don't pay that. If you must have it, I guess, pay what you want. I'm not going to tell you how to spend your money, but this is not a rare variant. This is probably, again, my comic shop, and I don't think they're special. I don't think they're different than anyone else. This was a 1 for 1 ratio. So once again, don't be fooled by somebody telling you that it's a very rare, super, hard to find book or anything like that. It's not. That's it for that. Now let's shift gears to the third thing I want to talk about. Third thing I want to talk about is a Silver Age haul that I got from Caleb Murph. I don't know. Caleb Murph, the Smurph, the Murph. Anyway, Caleb had an auction, his first ever, and he put up some books, and I bought some Silver Age. I'm always looking for Silver Age books. Kind of, if you know my general philosophy on collecting, it's to flip stuff that I don't really want, or maybe keep one of, and to buy stuff that I love and that I want to keep forever. And for some reason, Silver Age books stick in my craw as something that I want to keep for a long time. I don't want necessarily to turn them around and flip them myself and sell them. And I think where it comes from, and I get why a lot of younger collectors are into things like variants and stuff like that, because that was kind of what was in their head as important books when they were kids growing up. They probably saw this as a 1 for 100. It's a very hard to find book, and it's probably something worth collecting, and for that reason it's stuck in their mind as something that's really important. Same thing with Silver Age books. When I went to comic shops, you'd always note the wall books, the stuff that was up there is like aura books and stuff like that, and it was always, at least when I was collecting when I was younger, Silver Age important stuff, and that's why that has always stuck in my mind as something that I want to collect. Having said that, what I want to talk about mainly with Caleb is his packaging. This is how he does this, and I want to just say, for those of you that do ship, you can take some notes here. This is excellent job. And again, Caleb, I don't want to I don't want to pick you out and, make a big deal out of it. I know you did it out of the goodness of your heart, but again, it's worth noting when somebody does something right to talk about. So the first thing he does is he's got this. He has an outer package, which is this Mylar stuff that's you can get at the post office. The cool thing about these is you can get the flat rate on these with the bubble ones or whatever. I don't think this one's flat rate, but basically the way it works is it makes a nice watertight seal when you seal this, so it's a good outer package. Certainly is not a good only package. I mean, it's flimsy, so you have to put stuff in the middle. So this is what was in the middle of that. This is a super thick bubble wrap bag. But then what really struck me and what he does absolutely right is he takes a pile of books when you've got more than one book, and he wraps them in either newsprint. You can wrap them in a plastic bag. You can wrap them in those bags like Midtown does. Any of that stuff works great. The reason that it's important to do this is so the middle books don't crap out and they become sort of a vulnerable thing. They can easily get bent. I've had a lot of people send me books. They'll send a stack. They'll take a stack and it doesn't have anything on the outside. So what happens inevitably is the middle book, because the middle book has a slippery bag on it, the middle book will slide out an inch or so on either side, middle, top, back, whatever. And then it becomes kind of a vulnerable book. It's like it's basically like getting shipped naked. Doesn't have any reinforcement. It doesn't have the other books reinforcing it. It's just sitting there, and it's the most vulnerable part, which is the spine or the corner or the edge or something like that. That's why doing this is very important. He did it. Caleb, thank you, buddy. Then he also had a piece of newspaper, cardboard, hello. Next to it, the cardboard is a nice touch. And again, it just keeps things, if this is going to bounce or hit or something, the cardboard's going to take the impact, not the books. I want to show these books, and that's kind of the reason that I did this too. These are some books that I got in an auction. Literally, I won this, I think, 2 days ago. It came today. So that's how fast stuff ships in those bags. This is in no particular order, just the order that I shipped. I'm pulling them out of. We have a Tales to Astonish lot. Again, Silver Age. This is issue 76. The idea in my head being that Submariner is going to be a big player in the Marvel MCU moving forward. I have a feeling that these books are going to do real well. Again, I didn't necessarily buy them to flip them. I just bought them to add to my collection, but it's just nice when you have a book that, increases in value as you own it. Issue 78. This is a pretty big issue. This is actually, I just saw this one in my LCS. This is first Boomerang, issue 81. And issue 70. Issue number 7 of Submariner. This has kind of that photo. Marvel did this for a few of their books. I know they did on Daredevil during that same time frame. They took it's almost like if you've seen cartoons where they'll take a cartoon cell and put it against a photorealistic background. That's kind of the vibe here. Then we've got issue number 75. This is it's a 2-lot auction I won from him, 75. And then this is the second lot. Let's see if it's in order here. 95. 94. The biggie, 90, which is the first appearance of the Abomination, the original Abomination. 89. And the reason the Abomination might be a big deal is if it looks like the Thunderbolts, I think, are going to get together, and I think he's a member of that. 82. Very cool Iron Man cover. 99. 97. And 96. So once again, Caleb, can't thank you enough, buddy. Thank you. Caleb, if you have done his auctions or have been a member, He has a bunch of Silver Age stuff. If you're a Silver Age collector looking for, most of it's in pretty decent shape. I mean, it's definitely, most of it's in the mid-grade and above, which is pretty much typical of what you want when you collect Silver Age. If you start getting into the 8s and 9s and stuff like that, you're paying up the rear end for it. If you get anything much less than that, it's kind of junk, and you'll find that not a lot of collectors are looking for it. But, you know, a book like this, which is, you know, there's not a whole bunch wrong with it. I mean, it's a little old looking. Obviously, the luster has wore off the, you know, the cover. I mean, it's not bright and shiny like a new book. But if you look, there's not a bunch of spine ticks. There's not a bunch of creases that break color. I mean, this is just a very solid, nice book. The corners are a little dingy, which is to be expected. But again, it's just a very solid book. And these are nice to have, man. I just love those. That's again, those go in a special box of Silver Age stuff, which my intent is never to sell, just to hang on to it. That's the kind of stuff that I love to hang on to. So that is going to be it for this part of the video, guys. I'm going to stop this. I've talked for a while. It looks like 21 minutes. That's insane. And I'm going to come back with the stuff I'm going to bring to CGC with me. I'm driving, as I mentioned, I'm driving down to Florida, heading to Disney World. I can only do a couple, 2-3 days in Disney World, and then it's time to take a break. You end up walking about 10 miles a day. After about 10-mile days, it's time to give your legs a break. What I'll do is probably hop in my car and drive. It's about a 150-mile trip to CGC, and I'll hop over and drop off some stuff, and I want to show you what I'm dropping in. I want to bring you guys in on the process of what I've done. I've been pressing my rear end off and cleaning books, having some clean for me, and I'm going to drop those off, and we'll see how they grade. And I'll show you what they're going to be and my philosophy of what I'm going to do. Some I'm going to do just press it, just slab it and let the chips fall where they may. Some I'm going to I'm going to have pre-screen, so they're going to be kind of like near mint or nothing, because it's not really worth getting them slabbed if they're, if they grade in much less than a 9.6, to be honest. So that is it, guys. Thanks for watching. I will talk to you later, and look for my next video, which is going to be my CGC run. Bye for now. Happy collecting, guys. Talk to you later. Bye.